Well, good evening. Pardon me, I got a little fluff on my tongue there. It's kind of disgusting. There's Rocky. When you live with a cat, you get fluff in a lot of odd places. He's in his box there. He's going to have a rest. I was thinking of something tonight, and I just want to share what I was thinking of because I think it could be relevant to somebody. Maybe somebody will watch this and it'll make some sense to them. You know, I look back over the course of my life and I look at the situation I'm in now, and I have regrets. Now I was never one, I never got involved with drugs or alcohol or anything like that. But, I missed a lot of opportunities, partially due to having bad health, and partially due to not having very good discernment, and partially due just to being stupid, really, and just not to recognizing a thing until it was too late. And of course, now I'm trying to rebuild my life, and I'm realizing I'm looking back and I'm seeing where I could have done things differently here or there. And I've maybe not gotten beaten on certain deals I got beat on by con artists, and maybe done things differently where I could have something now that I had built up. And I discovered late in life that I'm really good at cleaning things up and organizing things. Especially, I can go onto a property that somebody's used as a garbage dump, and I can I can clean that place up where you could send your kids out there to run around in their bare feet and you'd never have to worry about anything. I'm really good at that. It's a talent that I have, and I don't have a lot of talents, and I failed at a lot of things over the years. But if I had started doing that back when I was in my 20s and 30s, I'd probably have a pretty good business built up by now, provided that nothing happened, of course, that I can't think of. Maybe something would have happened and I'd have lost it. But back in those days, you could buy an old truck for next to nothing, just a good old work truck, just solid frame underneath it, all made out of steel, with just simple mechanics to it, just a simple engine, a simple transmission, no computers or anything. You could buy something like that up for less than $1,000. Nothing in it for accessories and other than an AM radio and a heater, and you could work that thing for 5 years and just beat it to death, and it'd make you a lot of money. And you could do that back then, and I didn't do it, and I wish I had of now. Because now, of course, used trucks, they want $3,000 for a scrap truck. It's crazy. And they're not even any good anymore compared to what they were. But here's the thing. See, I can look back on all that, and I can say, boy, I should have done this, and I should have done that, and I shouldn't have done the other thing, and I shouldn't have dealt with this one, and I should have went this way instead of that way. And that's all true. I can do that. I can say all that, and every bit of it will be true. I really should have done things differently. But the thing is, you can't go back. You can only go forward. I mean, if I could go back and do it differently, I would, but I can't. And so I have to look ahead. I can't keep looking back. The value that looking back does have, though, is that it may instruct me in some ways as to how I should move ahead. So it does have some value, all those mistakes I made. But it has no value in terms of me ruminating over it. But it does have value in terms of me learning from it. So, okay, I can't do it the way I could have done it. But that doesn't mean I can't do it. It just means I got to figure out a different way. I can't buy a cheap truck anymore that's good. That's no longer a thing. And I know that. I've been looking, they're just not out there. But that doesn't mean I can't still do something. I just got to figure out what. And here's the thing. I know a lot of people, because there's a lot of people my age that got involved in drugs and all kinds of bad stuff. And, a lot of people I grew up with got mixed up in that stuff. And now they're looking back and they're saying, oh, I wasted all those years. And they're ruminating over it. And they're not able to look ahead because they're just thinking about everything they've lost through the stupidity, through not having done things right. and through having been a slave to an addiction. And they end up wasting more time looking back on that and feeling bad about it. And I mean, again, the thing to do there, I think, is to look back on it and say, okay, how did I screw this up? What can I learn from it? How can I move ahead with this knowledge? Because if I get knowledge from what I've done, then it's really not a waste. But if I just ruminate on it and feel sorry for myself over it, and I don't move ahead because I feel so bad about not having moved ahead prior to this, well then you're still not going to move ahead. And in 10 years' time, you'll just have 10 more years worth of stuff to ruminate over. And in 20 years' time, you'll be dead. Or close to it. You know, if you're my age, you'll either be gone or you'll be close to gone. And so that's the thing. So I guess I'm sending this out to all the people that I know, friends and other people I've known, associates over the years, who for one reason or another, and a lot of the time it has been due to addiction, have wasted a lot of time, and have just gone down a lot of bad roads and run into a lot of dead ends and spent a lot of time trying to backtrack and running around in circles and all the rest of it. And, what I'll say to them is, you got to learn the same thing that I've had to learn. And that is just for different reasons is all. And that is, don't spend too much time feeling bad about the time you wasted. Look back on it and learn what you can, get whatever value you can out of it, and then move ahead with that. Take the lessons you've learned and do better. And if you have an addiction, get the heck off whatever you're on. That's the first step. Get some help, get off that, and then you can move ahead. But you can't move ahead as long as you've got that ball and chain still attached to you. And that goes for anything else that's holding you back. If you've got a ball and chain on your ankle, you need to get that thing off of there, and then you move ahead. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I hope that it's of some inspiration to somebody. I'm going to keep trying to move ahead. I'm facing a lot of obstacles, but I know I've got talent, at least in one area. And I did it before. I got conned and I lost my vehicle, but I did it before, and I made money and I had jobs. So I know I can do it again. I just didn't do it in time is all. I did it when I was older and things had changed. But I did do it, so I know I can do it again. And so can you. Have a good evening. Talk later.